Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're out in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Labor Day. This is All Sports, All Plays in the morning. I am Craig, joined by Greg. Greg, how you doing this morning? Happy Labor Day.
Yeah, happy Labor Day to you too, Craig. It's an awesome day. I will be doing some laboring myself when I go to work. but man, it's awesome. We had great college football over the weekend, so man.
Yeah, it's been it was a great weekend. College football kicking off. I also will be working later today, so I feel your pain.
Yes.
Feel your pain. But welcome to the show, everyone. First things first, if you are tuning in this morning, let us know in the comments where you're watching from, what your thoughts were about college football this weekend. And if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter, go ahead, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share button. That always helps out the network. And of course, All Sports, All Plays in the morning. If you want to look for us on different platforms, no matter where you're watching from this morning, on Facebook, we're at All Sports, All Plays. On Twitter, at ASAP Network 1. On YouTube, ASAP Sports Network. And also on Twitch, at ASAP Network. So make sure to go check those out. And yeah, hit the like button. Go ahead and drop a comment down this morning. We love interacting with everyone and answering questions. And depending on what kind of take you have, we might roast you a little bit too. So be prepared for all that. But let's jump into some college football. Last night we were just talking about this before the show, Greg. Florida State and LSU, two different programs going in somewhat different directions. Yep. What did you think about last night's game?
Man, it was a defensive battle for about 3 quarters. then it started to open up. That was a big win for Florida State. They needed that for that program because it's been, let's be honest, it's been struggling the past 3-4 years. And they needed a big win like that. Brian Kelly, his first game at LSU, it was closer than what I thought it was going to be. Just being honest, I thought Florida State was going to handle them, win by more than 10. It ended up coming down to a blocked extra point. And if I was Brian Kelly, whoever's guy that was that didn't get blocked on that extra point, they wasn't coming on the bus. And if their parents had a problem with it, I said, look, he cost us a game. So you want to get mad at somebody, get mad at your son, because he's the reason why he's not on this bus right now. So
yeah, that's something that it's very basic. You do it in training camp in the springs, and you prepare like, hey, this should be a quick and easy play. This should be, hey, let's go into overtime. They made a
yeah, we should. You're right. You're right, Frankie.
Oh, Frankie. You guys getting paid time and a half. Yeah, it is a holiday. It is a holiday. We work on holidays here at All Sports, All Plays. I know Frankie does too. Frankie puts in work too. So we appreciate you, Frankie. Thanks for watching this morning. But yeah, LSU expecting after they were down 24-10, they make a huge comeback, extra point. Let's put it into overtime, and it gets blocked. It's just
insane.
You gotta feel for that team a little bit for how they made that comeback, and they're expecting to go to overtime. But it just goes to show that, especially no matter what level, and especially in college football, you can't take a play off.
That's right.
Because that could come down to affect your postseason chances, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
So that's tough.
It's always the little things, and we hear coaches like Nick Saban and Belichick all the time. They always talk about little things. Those are the things they're talking about. Block your guy on the extra point, try so the extra point doesn't get blocked. So it's the little things like that. But on the brighter side, if you're a LSU fan, maybe your quarterback will gain more confidence knowing that, hey, it was a minute something left. We drove 99 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that confidence can grow as the season, goes on. So, so that's one bright spot there. Florida State side, we'll see as the season goes on. Does this win uplift them, or was this just that was a good win, and they go back to being crappy? So we'll see as the season goes on for them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Florida State starts 2-0 for the first time since 2016, which is something that Florida State fans have been yearning for ever since Jimbo Fisher left. And you trying to find that stability. Coach Norvell, now in, I believe, his third season at Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you're, like you mentioned, if you're LSU, take solace in the fact Jaden Daniels had 200 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. And the running game is still the running game. 114 on the ground for Daniels as well. So you got a dual threat there at quarterback. None of the other running backs were able to kind of create anything. Kane had a touchdown on only 23 yards, but you got a little bit of momentum there, at least something positive to take out if you're LSU. Now their schedule doesn't get really that much better. They've got they got a cupcake game against Southern U, and then Mississippi State, first conference game, New Mexico, and then they get into the teeth of their conference, Auburn, Tennessee, Florida, who upset Utah, number 7 Utah at home over the weekend. Ole Miss, then Alabama, Arkansas, Texas A&M. They have 4 ranked teams on the home stretch of their schedule. So it might be a rocky first season for Brian Kelly at LSU.
Yeah, usually that Auburn game is tricky for them. And then, of course, playing Bama. That game is close. I don't think it's going to be all that close this season. So, yeah, it's going to be a rocky first half of the season for them. For sure.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit rough for them. Now for Florida State, we mentioned they started 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
Their schedule over the next couple weeks, they don't have a very easy schedule either. They start their conference schedule. They're playing Louisville on the road, and then 2 home games back-to-back, Boston College and a ranked Wake Forest, before going to NC State and then home against number 4 Clemson. Now I know Louisville got beat up pretty bad by Syracuse of all people over the weekend, but kind of over the next couple weeks. And I know you mentioned this a few minutes ago. Could this be a trend that maybe Florida State might go into the Wake Forest game 4-0? Some of those they had some big plays down the field on offense, which has got to be very promising. Obviously the defense giving up 13 points at the end of the game is going to be a little concerning there, but Florida State's schedule the rest of the way. Do you think it's possible that they could have their first, bowl season, like successful season under Coach Norvell there?
It's possible. This is how we're going to know if Florida State is back. If they beat Clemson, then Florida State is back.
Yeah, that's a tall task.
Yeah, that's a tall one, I know. But if that's the one I'm looking for, like, okay, you beat Wake Forest, all right, that's a nice win. You beat NC State. Okay, that's a really good win. You beat Clemson, then Florida State is back to being Florida State.
Absolutely. Morning, Pride. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, Pride?
I was dead.
He was dead.
I was dead. I'm not even going to pretend. I was dead. I woke up to my kids literally just slapping me.
That's never a good way to wake up.
Yeah, that was just my wake up thing. Like I just feel like hands just going like that. I would just wake up, and then I'm just like, what? So, yo, Greg, expect that soon, brother. Expect that real soon. You one of these days you gonna look at me, you go, Pride, it done happened. I'm gonna be like, I told you, Craig. How you guys doing today?
Doing good, man.
Good, Pride. Yeah, we're happy Labor Day to you.
Yes.
Likewise.
Yes.
Yep. We're just joining today. We're talking some Florida State, LSU, how wild that game was, and expecting what to expect from each team going forward, and really just kind of transitioning now into talking about the other games from college football in week one. Do you guys have any games that maybe were surprises to you, or like certain games that stood out to you from week one?
Right off the bat, one that kind of took me off surprise, UTSA, and I think it was Arkansas. I think it ended up.
UTSA.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Houston.
I'm sorry, I don't know why I said Arkansas. Houston, yeah. I think it was only by like 2 points, which I thought was impressive. And then also Notre Dame, kind of showing something for a whopping half. This is why I don't really have zero faith in them at all.
Thank God Notre Dame lost.
Yeah. Man.
Thank God Notre Dame lost.
Yeah. Notre Dame won, man.
I don't have to see them in the playoff this year. Yes.
Now, there was one game. I want to see if I can find it, because it was one of those relatively obscure games that both teams scored 60 points, like a minimum of 60 points.
Oh, you're talking about
with
the
no overtime
game?
Are you talking about North Carolina?
Yes, I think it was North. Was it Iowa?
It was against Appalachian State.
Appalachian State, yes. Yeah. Oh my God,
that game was wild.
Wasn't it? If I'm not mistaken, somebody fact check me. I could have sworn, I think it was Appalachian State that scored like 40 points in like the last quarter or something like that. Last half or something like that. I'm like, what?
They were down by, I want to say, like 24 in the third quarter, third, fourth quarter, maybe. I'm gonna look this up because I don't remember off the top of my head, but I remember App State roared back. Oh yeah, there you go, Jace. 44 in the fourth.
Yeah, it's like,
wow,
that's wild,
dude. I was like, and it was one of those things that like, because like I heard about it and all that stuff, right? And then I went back and like watched some of the highlights. No defense.
Appalachian State scored 40 points in the fourth quarter to tie that up, and that's not. Wow. So for North Carolina, that's the second game in a row that they've had to have a shootout in order to win. They are 2-0, but they've given up, I think, an average of 45 to 50 points a game already.
Yeah, I would. It's just me. I'm not comfortable doing that. I'm not comfortable doing that. By the way, Baylor, 69 points. Nice. But go ahead, Greg.
No, I was gonna say, whoever the North Carolina's defensive coordinator is, he should have been fired the next day.
Oh my God.
He should not have a job.
Honestly, he at the bare minimum, he's at the head coach's office, and he's just like, come on, come on, man. Honestly, like, what do you ask? Like, if you're the head coach, what do you ask your defensive coordinator? Like, what do you ask? That's just one of those things that, like, yeah, sit down and it's just a staring competition, just like you're straight staring at them, and then the defensive coordinator just looking down, like. It's like one of those like 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden just a break of silence. You get it?
Yep.
You get the point? Now go.
So here's an interesting thing to think about is the first game they had a lot of players that were ineligible for various reasons. They gave up 24 to Florida A&M, but that was a close game in the first half. It was a very tight game before they pulled away in the second half. Their next game is against Georgia State, also in the Sun Belt Conference. They can score some points historically, and then you've got Notre Dame, which Notre Dame they did show us a little something against Ohio State, but I think that's more of a detriment to Ohio State than it is about Notre Dame. But they got them coming up.
Go ahead.
I said they got them coming up, and then they're going to be in for a rough ACC schedule. Miami, Pitt, Wake Forest. They're going to be in trouble.
Yep. Yep, that's a lot of losses right there.
Can I ask you a legitimate question? Can we stop paying attention to teams in the independent conference?
If Notre Dame wasn't Notre Dame, nobody would care.
Are we gonna be honest? Like, I don't know. I get offended. You know, like I wish I could pick a fucking.
Rob,
I'm sorry. Yo, Rob, get out of New York, dog. Get out of New York.
I'm a real New Yorker now, B.
You said New York. I can't stand this, man. What up, Rob? How you feeling, baby?
Man, what's good with all y'all, man? How y'all doing?
Chilling, bro.
Doing
Getting my bacon, egg, and cheese, and some accessories. I'm a real New Yorker.
Some breakfast for us?
It is.
World traveler. He's gonna be bringing everyone breakfast.
Oh, man. You'll love to see it.
Yeah, I think
Frankie
one
done
game
with the Irish.
Everybody should be done with them.
I think realistically, let's pump the brakes on Notre Dame. They were ranked preseason number 5 because they had a first game matchup against Ohio State. Otherwise, I don't think they're ranked number 5.
Which is why I hate the whole strength of schedule thing being people's number one argument, because Notre Dame is not a top 5 program.
Right.
It's not even a top 10 program at this point.
Nope.
You know, but the only reason why they got it was because who they were playing, and it's like if you want to take that into consideration, fine. It should not be strong enough for that to make you be a top 5 program. That's insane, because then it shows you the inconsistency. Because who did Alabama play? Thank you.
Yeah,
they played Utah State this weekend,
and they shut them out. They did them filthy, but they were unranked, so that doesn't impact them. That's why that the whole strength of schedule. That's why I just hate it. It's just it's too inconsistent, and you know I hate Notre Dame, dog. I hate Notre Dame.
Between that and then Georgia's how's a nice way complete dismantling of Oregon. That was. I had a feeling Georgia was going to beat Georgia in that game, but I did not expect 49-3. I didn't expect that at all. They didn't even have a chance.
And the way Oregon lost that game, it makes the Pac-12 look bad.
Yep.
No.
Really bad.
Worse, Greg.
That makes the whole conference.
I'm glad you point this out, because one of the most surprising things, I shouldn't say surprising, one of the most eye-opening games to me was another Pac-12 team. Utah, number 7, goes to Florida and loses on the road.
Yeah.
Now, I think I had this conversation with a few others before, and we got into a very interesting debate about, can Utah still make the playoffs if they win out and go 12-1? My argument's no, because the Pac-12 overall on the weekend showed that it was not very strong. You go on the road to a Florida team that always has a hostile environment, but they're coming off a 6-win season. They're not expected to be that good coming in. Maybe they over exceed expectations, but I don't think even if Utah wins out, they don't have any strong games on their schedule outside of conference. So if their conference games aren't that strong and they lose a game that they, even if they squeak out a win, that works for them. They had nothing to gain by playing that game, but I know they're scheduled years out nowadays.
Yes.
They're scheduled 4 or 5 years out. So it's just the fact that Utah was just this good at this time, but then they lose. So I think the Pac-12 is down to the point where we're not going to see another Pac-12 team make the playoff until it expands.
And it's kind of interesting because, to your point, the only ranked teams, to your point, that they play like so far that have a ranking are, I believe there are two other teams in the Pac-12, USC and Oregon.
Yep.
I mean, USC looks like they have some promise.
Yeah.
Oregon's about to be unranked. Let's just get that. They about to be unranked. Bo Nix is about to be a college kid for life. He about to be a college kid for life. Like it was. I would say embarrassing, but I'm not an Oregon fan, so honestly, that doesn't bother me at all.
I have an Oregon fan in our household, so yes, it was a very embarrassing loss.
Woof.
Yeah.
Woof. But now, I mean, I do get your point. I mean, the main reason why I don't think Utah's gonna make it is, first of all, is the 8 playoffs thing that starts next year, right?
No later than 2026, but I think 24 is when they're going to start it.
So 24 is when they want to start. All right, so we're still stuck with the fort, right? So
yeah, this year and next year.
So the two teams that are gonna make it is Alabama and Georgia.
Yep.
I think right now we're all with a unanimous.
Yep.
Right now, Utah. I said Utah, Georgia and Alabama. So that means there's really only 2 spots left. Realistically, for them to be able to do that, to end up making it, you need Ohio State to end up having what?
2 losses.
At least two.
Because I think it's going to take 3. I think Ohio State with 2 losses still makes it.
So here's
over a
I agree.
Loss, Utah.
Yeah, I agree, and I think the winner of the Big Ten, say for instance, because I know Michigan's the defending champs, but they, there's basically it's a 2-horse race in the Big Ten right now. So you'd have to expect both of those teams to lose multiple games leading into the Big Ten championship game, and Utah's got to dominate the rest of the way.
Yep,
they have to dominate.
Yes. I'm talking about no less than double-digit wins and straight consistency throughout. Which I don't know if this Utah team can do that. That's the part for me that kind of baffles me, because to your point, like you said, in the Big Ten, Michigan State, Ohio State, those are basically the 2 horses that you kind of gotta pick one to hitch your wagon to. I just don't see, and that, again, that's like it's just those 2 we're talking about right now, right? Yeah. A lot of people have faith in Oklahoma this year, so that's yet another team that could potentially make it and could potentially have some sort of advantage, Oregon, I mean, yeah, they took a wild style loss, but we'll probably forget about it in 4 weeks. If they win the next 4, we'll forget about it. We'll go, okay, it was just the first game of the season. We'll let it rock. So I just think Utah has an uphill battle. I do think there'll be a small group of people that'll scream for them and chant for them and say, yo, they deserve it. But in terms of actually making it, I think it's too steep for them to actually make it. I just think there's too much. I don't want to say that if it was 8, yes, I 100%. I think they make it. But the fact that we're still rocking with 4, that's where for me, that's where I go nah, because anybody with a straight face, look at the camera, pretend you're looking at me, tell me Utah deserves it. I already got Craig laughing already. Greg
I
is
already
like,
said
hey,
no.
Yeah, Greg
no.
is like, I'm not even going to try. He's like, I ain't even going to try. So whatever. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know.
Well, the only Pac-12 team I could see making the 4, if Southern Cal goes 13-0, and I'm talking about they have to dominate.
Yep.
If they are beating people like how they was back in the day, then that's the Pac-12 team that could get in the 4. If they go 13-0, win the conference, and they dominate the conference, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah. And Greg, to your point, their schedule, they're at Stanford, which is always a tough game for them, regardless of record. Then they've got Fresno State, who is supposed to be kind of a sleeper top 25 group of 5 team this year. Oregon State, Arizona State, Washington State. Then they play at Utah. They only have 2 ranked opponents as it sits right now before, more rankings come out. So you got Utah and then Notre Dame, both teams that took L's this weekend. So it already doesn't look super strong. But yeah, I agree. I think they've got to, they're probably going to be, because of brand and how much exposure that school has, that would be I think the only team at this point, this early in the season, that would make the college football playoff out of the Pac-12.
Yeah.
100%. And honestly, Greg, I don't even think they need to go 13-0. I think 12-1 with domination, as long as they like, I think there's 4 teams they need to beat, no debate. I think there's four teams that they actually need to beat. Notre Dame, obviously, they're gonna have to beat Notre Dame, and I think Utah, because I think eventually, if this USC, this Lincoln Riley era in UFC, explodes how we think it will, I think that game against Utah will end up. That's basically, in my opinion, is going to be like it, right?
That is, yeah.
But those 2, Fresno State, because I think eventually Fresno State's going to be in the top 25. To piggyback off of what Craig said. Now, I don't think they'll make it past 20, but I think they'll be like the highest. I think I can see them as 22.
Okay,
which isn't bad.
Yeah, that's
which
not
isn't bad
bad
for them. So I think they'll need to beat them, definitely. And then another team that I think I'm not going to say it's crucial, but I feel like they do need to win, UCLA.
That's the one.
And I feel like that's more of a and I'm looking at this from a different point of view. I'm looking at this more from we are both in Cali, and I own this place. You are nothing type of situation.
Yeah.
Imagine the perception if they beat Fresno, they beat Utah, Notre Dame, or only have 1 loss, then they dominate effortlessly. They dominate UCLA to be like, this is our state. The perception, that perception alone will get them in the college in the playoffs. That perception alone. It might just be the 4 seed, but I think that perception alone will be able to catapult them up there.
Agreed. Because during the Pete Carroll era, the main thing during those years was we own LA.
Yes.
And Pete Carroll made sure to let that be known. We own UCLA, we own Cal, we own everybody in this state. And y'all gonna get beat down every year, and that's what they did. So for this Lincoln Riley era to be what the Pete Carroll era was, they have to own California, LA again.
And again, remember, as soon as Lincoln Riley got there, what did everyone immediately compare this to?
It's Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll.
Yep.
So it's like everything Pete Carroll did, Lincoln Riley has to do in order to consider it a success. So That's why that is basically the sole reason why I brought up that UCLA game, right? Normal people would look by it and say no, but the reason why I'm bringing it up is because, Greg, I think you and I agree. I think it's a little deeper. I think it goes a little deeper than that because Pete Carroll used to, in every interview he had, by the way, I own the state. Like he always tried to sneak that in whenever he could. Yep. Imagine if Lincoln Riley comes in and goes, "Oh yeah, year one, look what I did to this program, and look what I did to the state. I ruined it. Let's get it." Like imagine Lincoln Riley coming back out and saying that. Everyone would love him again. Everyone would love him again.
Yeah, having Caleb Williams transfer over from Oklahoma was huge. He had 250 and 2 touchdowns in that game, and the defense was what really stood out to me for USC. They had multiple defensive touchdowns in that game, and that's going to be the backbone for them. If they can do even half of that every week consistently, that's going to carry USC a while, because you know what Caleb Williams can do based on what he did at Oklahoma and what he just did in week 1 under Lincoln Riley's offensive system. So if they can do that, and I think a huge confidence boost, and this goes into the domination of the state of California, if they can go into Stanford and make a statement, then I think a lot more people will be like, all right, USC's back.
Say it, yeah, and I guess that's another great one too. Like Stanford, even though they're not the best, everyone always says it's a rowdy place. They could be over, and it's still a tough place to play in. Yep. I'm busy.
Hey, Pride, if it makes you feel any better, I had to do that just now too.
No, because what's triggered me, right? So my son, he's chilling, he's relaxing, he's being a good kid. My daughter's headbutting her pillow. Okay, so right, I'm kind of messed up, and she's threatened to throw the pillow at me twice already. When it comes to thrice, I'm muting this mic. I'm getting up.
All right, just turn the camera off so you don't indict yourself.
No, I shall not incriminate myself.
Yep, don't do that. Don't do that. The joys, and we've all, the joys of parenthood on live streaming television. Okay, that's.
Wait till you get there, Greg. Just you wait.
Thankfully, ours is 2 months. So I
thankfully, ours is already past those. They're like 8, 9, 10, 11. So
they understand you, and they have no excuse.
Yeah, they know when we're in the office, you just, unless they're fighting, then it's like, all right.
Right.
Got to roll up the sleeves for a second.
But yeah, that Sanford one is going to be important, and also that UCLA. Matter of fact, I'll throw that Sanford in too, because imagine if they could sweep LA, or not LA, California.
Cali, yeah.
If you could do that, man, that's going to be a huge thing, because as soon as Lincoln Riley got compared to Pete Carroll, if in 1 year's time, let's say he doesn't make the college football playoffs, in 1 year's time, if you can at least insert dominance on California, that right there would be huge. Yes. That right there would be. And remember, a lot of USC fans, they're kind of on Lincoln Riley right now. They're kind of Yeah. So imagine year 1, you're over 500, because they didn't have a winning record last year. Someone fact check me if I'm wrong. I don't think they had a winning record last year.
I'll look that up. 7 games or so.
I think so. Yeah, Craig, do me a favor, look that up, and if I'm wrong, fact check me. But if he could get them over 500, beat every California team, heck, even have a realistic shot of making the college football playoffs, even if they don't make it, that will be a successful season. And now Lincoln Riley will be able to get the fans to actually kind of more buy into his new program. But I mean, honestly, to your point, Greg, I think the only Pac-10 team, or Pac-12, I'm sorry, is not Utah. I mean,
no, Utah.
It's not Utah. No disrespect to Utah.
No, right, yeah.
You know what I mean? But no, not them. Not them. It definitely would be USC.
Pride. Last year they were 4-8 last year.
What a winning record.
It was bad.
They were 4-8 last year. Clay Helton was fired after 2 games.
What a goal.
And then Clay Helton had a 5-1 record in the 2020 COVID year, and then 8-5 in 2019. So that's the season you were talking about, Greg.
Yes. Speaking as a Southern Cal fan, I'm so happy Clay Helton is gone because his years were underwhelming, very underwhelming. But yeah, if SC, if they can own Cali like they used to back in the Pete Carroll era, that's gonna be a good start for Lincoln for sure.
Definitely. All right, so the last game of the college football week 1 slate is tonight, 8:00. Number 4 Clemson plays Georgia Tech I think it's in Atlanta, right? It's in the Mercedes-Benz.
I want to say yes. Let me fact check myself.
Yeah, because I have the preview up, but it doesn't say. Oh, there it is. Yep, Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta, Georgia. So that's going to be a big matchup, not only because of the fact that Clemson is trying to get back on track from where they've been, making not even college football playoffs, but making national championships.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you guys expecting out of Clemson, and then also quarterback Ukulele?
They better get a win. They better get a win. They better get a win. I'm saying that right now. Ever since Trevor Lawrence left, they have been boo-boo in the butt, as the children say. They've been horrible, awful. Every time I watched, like last year when I watched the game, to quote the great Rob Scott, what in the haberdashery? I've never seen just a disconnect from player to defensive coordinator to offensive coordinator to field. Even the refs were disconnected at some point. Were like the most obvious blatant calls that Clemson would do. They would grab the flag and go, do I really want to be this guy? Do I really want to kick this team while they're down? Because I'm looking up at the scoreboard and we're in the fourth quarter, 5 minutes left. They're down by 25. Do I really want to throw this flag? Do I really want to be this guy? Clemson, how they're the fourth, God bless them. God bless them. God bless them. I don't know how that happened. Rob, that is the equivalent of us looking. The best way I could possibly describe it is this. Imagine the Lakers when they won their ring, right? Back in the olden year of 2020, right? It was 2020, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Back then, Rob, that was when dinosaurs existed, all the way back in 2020, right? Imagine they won it. You're muted, brother. Oh no, man, you're not muted. You're not muted. Imagine they did that, right? Then with all those offseason moves, you remember how they were doo-doo right after? I don't want to say doo-doo, but they kind of had some struggles, right? And then now, remember how last year they were butt? Imagine every single one of those years we ranked them in the top 5. Rob, we can't hear you, brother. So something wrong with your mic. Rob gets me though.
Back in.
Yeah, Rob gets me though. That's how it was. Clemson.
But so think about that. We're talking about how Clemson had a down year. Ukulele had 9 touchdowns, 10 picks, 2,200 yards. Did not perform well, but Clemson still went 10-3.
Yeah, they did.
They still went 10-3. So I think that's part of what goes into why they were ranked preseason number 4. You got to expect that the quarterback plays got to get better. Clemson is still the same Clemson brand for now, at least, with Dabo Swinney there. So
I was gonna say Dabo punched someone in their face to get this ranking. I don't care what no one says.
Either that, he bribed somebody.
On God, bro, with that money. But Ukulele. I call him Ukulele. I call him Ukulele because I'd rather him go play that than play football because this kid is just like this kid is just confused. He is I don't want to be rude, but watching him.
Can y'all hear me now?
We hear you now, brother.
There he is.
Live in the gutter. But when he plays, he brings nothing to the table. It's very, I don't even want to say safe because you can justify safe because the Michigan quarterback, not State, but the Michigan, it's like PJ McNamara.
McNamara and JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, Cade. It's Cade McNamara. He plays kind of safe, right?
Yeah.
Right, because they're run for his team. But when you put the ball in his hands, you know he'll make the right choice.
Yeah, we call him check down Cade.
Right. You know what I mean? He'll make the right choice because he understands it, right?
Right.
I'm looking at DJ Ukulele, which, by the way, if I ever become a DJ, that is my name, DJ Ukulele. Like the kid when he's out there, he just doesn't look comfortable. I've seen him with clean pockets make ill-advised throws. I'm talking about a pocket so clean, so tight that my guy in his white uniform was getting no stains. None at all. A perfect pocket. You Google perfect pocket, you'll see Clemson there, and him like he's got like you know the meme of the cat when the cat gets hit and then he just goes like that, and then they kind of just play like war sounds in the background, pretending we're back in time. That's DJ every single time he gets the ball in his hand. He gets fooled by the easiest things. Like, I've never seen a kid get caught so bad off a stutter step. Yes, a stutter step. This ain't a wide receiver, it's a linebacker. Linebacker is a stutter step. The kid throws the interception right to that linebacker. I've never seen this. It's the craziest thing in the world. I could have sworn that stutter step was like the Wizard of Oz stuff. The Wicked Witch of the West just made him change uniforms, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that's my teammate." Whee! Like, I've never seen any crazy stuff like that before in my entire life. It's wild. And the sad part about it is Hunter Helms, I don't even think he's any is he really any better? I don't think anyone really knows, and we don't really know much about him to comfortably be like, "Oh yeah, let's sit DJ and let Hunter take over." We haven't seen anything. So it's this awkward situation where it's like, do you want to take a dive into, parts unknown, or do you want to roll with what you got? I think this game determines it. I really do. Because this Georgia Tech defense will fool you, swindle you, befuddle you, exasperate you, trick you, confuse, confuddle, perplex. It will do anything it possibly can to you. Now imagine having a quarterback who gets confused tying his own shoelaces. Now you put him against a team that can actually confuse you. If Clemson doesn't win, there's a legitimate conversation needs to be had. Do you move on from DJ Ukulele? Because at some point you gotta move on, because even as a game manager, he doesn't even do that right. Cade, like, again, the best example I can bring up is Cade McNamara. He can, and he understands it. But if you need him to throw the ball long, you're comfortable in letting him do that. You're comfortable in occasionally letting him go long. I'm scared about this kid throwing the check down. I'm scared about him throwing the check down. What do I look like? Bro, I've seen him throw a couple screens, and I hold my breath. I literally hold my breath because I'm like, well, interception, pick six, here we go. It's insane, man. So I think Clemson really needs to win this game. It's going to be in a packed Mercedes-Benz because, Rob, you're up there, so you're not one of us. You live in Florida, so you know the more south you get, the crazier, more rabid college football happens to be.
It is wild.
It is.
I already know.
I've been to a game in the Swamp against LSU a couple years ago, and that was unlike. There are a few other places in the country that rival that.
Can I be honest with you? I don't think anyone rivals it.
No, yeah,
I don't think anyone rivals it because because of the fever pitch, their energy doesn't die off until like 5 minutes. If they're getting blown out and then the last 5 minutes, that's when they'll die down. But they could be down 40 heading into the third, and they're rabid.
Yep.
And they're still go crazy. They're borderline foaming at the mouth.
You could almost compare them to like the soccer games overseas.
Yeah.
Yes.
It goes down like that.
Like Barcelona, Real Madrid, Liverpool, like Tottenham. Some of those teams, some of those clubs where the screaming is like.
Oh, I know. Well, you got to understand, college football is big stuff. I know it's big stuff down south. Sometimes that's kind of all you got, so in most of these areas. So they foaming at the mouth for some good old college football. But I think Clemson has to come out and perform just because all of your favorites did. We saw what Georgia's come out and do. We saw what Alabama's come out and do. Even though Pride, you said who did they play? But all of the big names came out perform. So now the stage is set for Clemson, and everybody looking at them like, what y'all gonna do? So I'm definitely excited to see this game. I actually caught the Jackson State University game. Shout out to Prime, man. Boy, they dominated FAMU, man. That's a scary looking team. So college football is definitely gonna be interesting this year. I would have to say you guys have made me pay more attention to college athletics. So I got to catch some games this weekend. I'm like, okay, let's get it on now. But I'm ready for the big show on Thursday.
Absolutely. NFL kicks off Thursday. I know something Pride and I talked about. We've been doing previews of all the different divisions last week. So coming up on Thursday, we're actually in our chat that we have, our group chat. There's the playoff predictor, and you can go through and do the schedules. And we've all been talking about, well, this one's going to be garbage. This one's going to win. Somebody on this show last week said that 3 teams in a division were going to have 10 wins each. So I want to see how you guys come up with.
They had to be talking about the AFC West.
It was the West. It was the West.
Got to be talking about the AFC West. Speaking of the AFC West, so I got to have a little leisure time this weekend. So I went to go see Michael Jackson on Broadway. And guess who was there?
Who was there? Don't tell me who.
Sierra and Russell Wilson. I got to meet Russell Wilson.
You got to meet him?
Cool. Yeah.
You got to meet him?
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a legitimate question? Is he a Pokemon?
She is. Her pictures don't do her justice.
I heard she's taller than you would think.
She is tall, but she is beautiful, bro.
Let me ask you a question. Is Russell Wilson a Pokemon? Is all he say is Broncos country, let's ride? Is that all he said?
So this is what happened. They were walking past, and I'm sitting there. It's intermission. People going to the bathroom. People getting alcohol, and I'm sitting there just chilling, waiting on everybody to go back to their seats. And I see this lady, and I'm like, man, that look like Sierra. And I turn back around like, wait, that is Sierra. I was like, hey, Sierra. So she smiled, and then, she kept walking. And then I seen Russ. I was like, oh, Russell Wilson. So he actually smiled and was like this, because I don't think people in there knew who that was.
Yeah.
And I was like, my bad. And then he nodded his head and he kept walking. I was like, yo,
Rob.
cool.
Rob, consider yourself blessed. You met a quarterback that's way better than Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, right.
You're blessed.
In his own dreams, he is. Yeah.
Oh, my bad, Greg. Yo,
in his dreams, he is. Yeah.
Don't you make Greg start slamming on these desks now.
Oh my God, that is my life goes to make Craig. I don't know what we were talking about.
That was the week we lost to the Bengals in the in the regular season. Yeah,
Craig started screaming
because Greg got such a he's so cool. It seems like you can't piss Greg off to me. Like Greg got one of the personalities. You be like, hey, you like, all right, man. You're gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? But Pat Mahomes and them piss Greg off.
Greg, I'm talking. He went like that. Yeah. His camera moved, and I got scared. I was like,
we ain't seen that side of Greg. Like, oh Lord Jesus.
That was the game we lost because Spags wanted to call it Engage 8
yes.
23. And I'm like, what is
that man hit the Madden button.
He was like, hey, Craig, it started bad, nice, and all of a sudden he goes, And Spags, he called it a KJ. I was just like, oh, you got it, Craig.
You start checking your playbook. Like, did I call that?
Right. But I know now the team that's not going to win the 10 games of the division. I'm sorry, Russ, y'all not going to win 10.
You don't think Denver going to do it?
They're not winning 10. No.
I think they can.
Most people said Denver was a quarterback away. Now they got a quarterback.
I'm saying. No, granted, I'm not saying they're going to win the division. Don't get it twisted.
I think it's going to be the Raiders that win that division. But that's.
You think it'll be the Raiders?
Yeah.
Oh, see,
look at Greg.
We talked about this last week. I've actually got, because that division's so good, I could see the Raiders being last.
Yeah, you know what? I say that just because I like Derek Carr. And now you give him the ultimate weapon.
Oh my days.
You give him the ultimate weapon. You give him the best receiver in football.
So I don't think it's on David Carr completely, because Josh McDaniels has got a lot of demons to exercise from his first go round as head coach.
Yeah.
So it's really what's that?
It's Derek Carr. You said for
Derek
some
Carr, what did I say?
on that and call him David.
You don't talk about that bomb.
You
don't talk
You
I'm
put
thinking,
some respect on his
Houston
name.
Texans David Carr.
Yeah, I was going to say, hold on now.
I just showed my age there. Sorry.
Oh God,
Greg, your age is showing.
My age is showing. But I think it's on Josh McDaniels, and how is he going to be able to utilize his weapons, because he didn't do it very well when he was in Denver.
Yeah,
no,
I think it's going to be a little bit different now, just because I think he got humbled his first time he went out there. So now I think he understands what it takes, and it's hard to just deny he comes from a great lineage. I mean, look, comes from that Bill Belichick tree. So
don't get it twisted. I get that, Rob, but not everyone who comes out that tree is Brian.
I know.
Right,
we got quite a few Matt. You know what I mean? And Eric Mangini. You got a few Matt Patricians out there cooling, bro. You got some Joe Judge in the wing, bro.
You know what though? I think it's because I look at other sports. Like if you look at Greg Popovich, like a lot of people that came from that Popovich tree, successful. Yes. You know, and coach, you look at Budenholzer, you look at Becky Hammond, you just look at those guys. You look at my guy with the Celtics. You know, hey,
Udoka.
Yeah. Hey, he's successful. He took that to get to that team to get over the hump and get to the finals, no matter how they lost. That's a successful season. They did better than they did last year. So,
no, bro, we did better. We did. Listen, I go. You had us in the first half. That was literally that. If you want to sum up our season, you had us in the first half. All right,
they got it together. So you know, I just hope when you look at it from football, you know, you look at Belichick. But you're right though. It's some coaches that come from that Belichick tree. It really shows you how great Belichick is.
Yes, not everyone can handle Belichick. Now, this is my thoughts on Josh McDaniels. I look at him the same way I look at Todd Bowles. Phenomenal coordinator.
Yeah.
When it comes to being a head coach, that is far above your pay grade. Like, I don't think it's more of a situation where he got exposed in Denver that he needed to learn. He got exposed on, you can't handle this, kid. You can't handle it. Not everyone can, and that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to not be able to handle being a head coach. Because
a lot that comes with it. A lot that comes with being a head coach.
Not everyone can handle it. However, that doesn't mean he's not a bad coordinator. Because he's a hell of an offensive coordinator. Nothing but respect for him from there. But head coach, that's not him.
Well, I think if he's built this foundation right by getting his coaching staff together, I think that'll be a huge help. Because now everything doesn't have to fall on you. You know, you don't have to be the coach that Belichick is, that he wants all the responsibilities of everything. Right. Designate. You know what I'm saying? Delegate and designate. That's what I tell people. You know what I'm saying? That's what the other coaches are there for. So if he's built his foundation right, the team is talented enough to do some things.
And that's why I think they make it to the playoffs. Yeah. I don't think it's him. I think he's just kind of just there. Like, if this gonna sound,
you think he's Matt Nagy?
Do I think he's Matt Nagy? No.
Because Matt Nagy was just there. He almost got that boy killed. He tried to kill Justin Fields.
I was gonna say Matt Nagy.
He almost got that boy killed.
Matt Nagy was trying to ruin that franchise. I don't care. He was an undercover agent. I don't care what anyone says. He was an undercover agent. No one can convince me otherwise. But I do think I give him. This is just me starting the season. Now, could he end up being a great head coach and just the situation in Denver was bad? Could be. But as right now, I don't think that's the case. I will not give him any credit for the wins, nor would I slander him for the losses. I think he's just there. That's it. I think he's just there. He's there to get a check and to handle a couple press here and there. So that way, every once in a while, the commentators on Monday Night Football, Sunday Football, or Thursday Night Football can repeat the same spewed out line. They repeat with Matt Patricia. They spewed out with with Eric Mangini. They spewed out with Brian Flores. He comes from the Belichick tree. That's one heck of a tree, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Awkward silence. Like, that's basically the only reason they really had him.
You set that theory up as soon as you mentioned Matt Patricia. I was like, you're right.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good.
You see what I'm saying? And again, it's like when you're in New England, there's responsibilities you have, but a lot of the responsibility falls on Belichick.
Yep. That's why I'm just saying. He takes ownership of everything.
And what people don't understand is, like, Belichick will let you try your own thing, but ultimately he's the safety net. He never lets you go too far over the wild blue yonder to make too many stupid mistakes. He kind of grabs you, reels you in, and he looks at you kind of the same way how the head coach for North Carolina is going to be looking at him. after like 30 seconds.
Disappointed father.
And that's the thing. Without that, you've seen guys not be able to handle it. You've seen guys fall apart. You've seen guys be confused. And I think Josh McDaniels is in that. Yeah, I think that's where he is. I don't think he lasts 2 years.
Oh, wow.
I don't think he lasts 2 years. I think this year they do solid. I think next year they kind of basically seem like they're plateaued, so to speak. And you can't get rid of Derek Carr.
Well, I think it's going to come down to their defense. I think offensively they're going to be okay. I think the questions are, what is that Raiders defense going to be like?
Josh McDaniels does nothing for that defense.
I know.
He does nothing for that defense.
I know. And then speaking of this division, to speak up for Greg, where has all this Chiefs slander come from? I've been hearing a lot of people like dissing the Kansas City Chiefs.
Hey,
well, you gotta like
jealousy, all that good stuff. Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you why. It's fun. there's no. I'm gonna keep it a stack with y'all. There's no merit. There's no evidence. It's just fun. That's it.
I know. I think I know exactly where a lot of this is coming from, and it's two things.
Yeah.
The first thing is the Chiefs have been so good in that division for so long. Yeah. They want to drum up some interest. Like, okay, we gotta talk about something. Is this the time they fall? Look at the Packers in the NFC Central. I think that's pretty similar to the Packers have been really good, and that's everyone else. The Chiefs have been really good, and then everyone else. So I think that's first reason. Second reason, the Chargers have really come on. And look at the game that they had last year, the Chargers and Chiefs. So I think that's part of the narrative that's going on is it's a combination of those two things. And it's like in the NBA with the Spurs, we're just waiting for them to fall apart. You know, when is that going to happen? And I think that's where the Chiefs slander comes from this year. You want like people talking about Herbert's in line for MVP. Well, if that happens, he's got to beat the Chiefs to get there. So I think that's where a lot of that comes from.
I see what you're saying, man.
Guys, every Saturday I kind of say the same thing on our Red Kingdom show, which is
go check that out on ASAP Network.
Yes, thank you, Craig. Which is on paper, yeah, it looks like everybody else is better than the Chiefs, have better offseason. What people don't understand is this Chiefs offense is going to be more dangerous without Tyreek. than it was when he was here, because now Patrick has options. Now it's not just Hill and Kelsey. Now he's got 4 or 5 people to throw to. And as a defense, it's hard to defend 5 more than it is to, we got to worry about Hill and Kelsey. Now they got to worry about 5 people.
Pride is cracking me up with this look.
No, he's right. No, I'm not happy. He is right, because the thing is like, you still got Travis Kelsey, who was their number 1 option anyway. Yeah. Now you got Juju Smith-Schuster, who can now fit a number 2, because everyone's been saying he's a solid number 2 who can run routes. So now you have a middle guy, and he can run low, so you can switch to Travis Kelsey and Juju Smith-Schuster. You got Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who can run deep. McCole Hardman still got burners. Yep. So to Greg's point, my concern, and Greg, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on this. My concern isn't the offense. I think the offense will be fine. It's the defense.
They were already bad, and now they lost.
And that to me is why I think the Chiefs take a step back, because Greg, that defense last year, for like the first half of the year, was horrible.
Yeah, it was very bad. Yeah,
Honey Badger got everyone together, and I'm convinced. I don't care what anyone says. He slapped somebody. I don't care what anyone says. He slapped somebody. I'm telling you. I think like the whole year he was talking to them, and he just went locker room one day and was just like, who was it? He left the one y'all wanted to trade. He was
Sorensen.
Sorensen.
Yeah,
I'm convinced he went up to Sorensen, because Sorensen the second half was playing solid. I'm convinced he was like, yo, Sorensen, yo, S-Dog, come here. He's like, hey, what up, shit like that.
Don't ever play like that again.
He needed to be slapped.
He stood up and he said, "What up? What up?"
He needed to be.
And he said, "What up?" Spags came in and said, "Calm down." He was like, "Calm down. Take this. Hiya!" Boom, slapped him. My guy was like, y'all see that meme of that dad who was just slapping kids? Like one hit his little daughter. He's like, boom, and then everyone's like coming up to him and like saying his name. He's like slapping him. That was Honey Badger, right? So my question to you, Greg, is with how the losing Honey Badger and losing Sorensen, which I think kind of hurts a little bit, only considering the fact that the second half of the year, he was really getting it together, filling that safety linebacker hybrid role, which I think was very great for him, because he just putting him at safety, he was getting cooked. When you put him in that little hybrid linebacker spot, he looked more comfortable.
Yes.
Defensively, do you have legit concerns for this team? Because again, offensively, I'm with you. I think the bigger problem is defensively.
Well, this defense is going to surprise people this season, because I feel like it has the potential to be a top 15 defense. The reason why I say that is, yes, we lost Honey Badger, we lost Sorensen, but Justin Reed is good. Juan Thornhill, he's very good also.
Take that very out, Greg. You got to take that very out, Greg.
Well,
that's your friend I'm talking.
He's a good safety. And then during the draft, we got Trent McDuffie. And if y'all watch the show on Saturday, AKA McDuffie Island, everybody's going to get stuck on McDuffie Island this year because he's a very good corner. And then Snead at the other corner, he is good as well. This is the best linebacking core the Chiefs have had in a very long time, too. Nick Bolton, Willie Gay. Then you add Leo Chanel in there, too. Yes, Leo Chanel. So their linebacking core is better than what it was last season. Yes, we lost Honey Badger, but I still like our safeties. Thornhill, I like Reed. I feel like our corners with Trent and then Snead, they're good. I feel like our defense is going to be at least, if everybody stays healthy, at least top 15. And if it is that, they go into the Super Bowl and they winning it if it's a top 15 defense.
Wow, that's a bold prediction.
Y'all get cooked. They get cooked.
They can pick Buffalo.
No, they can't. No, they can't beat Buffalo.
I don't even
They
think
can't
they're
beat
gonna win their
Buffalo.
division.
They can't beat Buffalo.
I don't think they can. Not with this defense. Not with this defense. Greg, it took a rule. And you guys knew y'all were gonna get cooked. That's why y'all petitioned to help them change the rule. Because y'all knew y'all was gonna get cooked for a loss. They're like, man, it's the right thing to do.
I'm just saying, nobody wanted to change the rule when we lost to the Patriots in the AFC Championship.
No, people wanted to change the rule.
They didn't want. We were like, "Hey, can y'all change the rule?" Oh no! And now we ended up winning because, oh yeah, let's change it. So,
well, the thing is, no. For me, the only reason why I was like, "Oh yeah, we gotta change it," was because the Chiefs, who ended up benefiting from the rule, was like, "Yeah, let's change it." When I saw that, I was like,
What are we
"So no
talking
one's gonna
about?
argue about it?" Like the losing and the winning team was like, "Yeah, let's change the rule." When I saw that, I was like,
I mean, really, in real talk, what did the Chiefs have to be mad at?
no, I'm good with it.
They was like, "Oh yeah, let's change the rule, but y'all can go home in the meantime."
Watch, it's gonna come back to bite them. Watch. They're gonna lose to the Browns. Hey, yo!
Have y'all? I probably missed the show or two. What's y'all reaction with Donovan Mitchell going to the Cavaliers?
My first reaction was that was not the destination I thought he was going to go.
Right.
But reading more about it, I laugh hysterically because the Knicks had been pushing all in on getting him. And then word comes out from, I think it was Rick Bucher, was like, yeah, Utah sent him to Cavaliers out of spite because they just hated the Knicks blowing him up all the time. So they just sent him for a lesser. The Knicks were going to sell the house to get Donovan Mitchell, and the Cavaliers sent a lesser package, and Utah was like, yeah, we're going to take Cleveland's deal. And they didn't have to give up any of their core. So I look at
I think they gave up Sexton.
Colin Sexton, who they wanted to get rid of anyway.
You got Darius Garland. What I need him for?
But Garland runs the point. Donovan Mitchell is the off ball.
And that's gonna be nice. I'd have had that over him and Sexton any day.
Remember we thought Trae Young and DeJounte Murray would be vicious? Lols. LOL. LOL. Cleveland said, take this.
Hey, it's gonna be cracking in the Eastern Conference, man.
So you got those two plus Mobley, and you got Jared Allen.
Oh my God.
So now, as a Pistons fan, I look at that and I go, okay, the Pistons got a young core, but now they've got to run through the Cavaliers with Donovan Mitchell and company. They got to run through Giannis. They got to run through Chicago's trying to push for a playoff. It's such a hard division. Now look out the East. You've got legitimately 4, 5, maybe 6 teams if you throw in the Raptors that like you've already got the first 6 seeds taken care of. Like all those, that it's going to be such a hard conference this year.
Yeah.
I think the East has been getting better and better and better. Like the East is a very, like, man, the All-Star game. The East are gonna have some boys over there.
Yep. You notice how the Eastern Conference got better when Braun left?
You want to know why? Because everyone ran from the West. Don't do that. Don't do that. Everyone ran from the West.
Okay.
Settle down.
All right. Okay.
Well, you gotta pave the way so ESPN has something to talk about. So you gotta take all the talent out of the West, put it in the East, so LeBron can make the finals again.
Yeah, there it is.
ESPN needs to talk about it.
Relax, Craig. Relax. Yo. Y'all about to have me have my Greg moment.
I'm just here.
Hey.
I mean, look, listen, I liked it. Listen, I think
LeBron just dominated the East for so long. That's
he did. It was.
You had to go. You had to see him if you want to even smell the finals. You had to see the king.
Greg,
but now with Cleveland
Greg.
going up, you got Miami, Boston, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Brooklyn if they can get their stuff together,
Chicago.
Cleveland, and then Toronto was a playoff team last year.
Yeah.
Chicago was a 6th seed last year. That's already 8 teams.
Yeah,
there's your 8 teams that can make the playoff, and then you got
Atlanta's trying to make some moves.
Atlanta ain't doing shit.
I don't think so either. Atlanta's got a lot of work to do, and they don't play.
A lot of work.
They don't really play defense.
I said this before. I said it before. I'll say it to my dying bread. Trae Young's the best player. Why you get cooked for losses? I don't care what anyone says.
You know what?
He's a great offensive player. He's a great shooter, but he's got to develop more of his game and learn how to play better team defense.
Yeah,
to make that team.
Nobody
better.
is saying he got to be Gary Payton, but like you can look even compare if you want to compare it to Steph Curry, which a lot of people do. Steph is great at playing passing lanes, getting those steals. Trae Young don't do nothing. It's like
some movement. Like if he doesn't have the ball, he's just taking up space.
Yeah.
There's no off ball move. That's what kind of makes Steph so different. Is like off the ball, he's moving.
Yeah.
Like that's
Steph hit that weight room. Steph hit that weight room.
Yeah, yo, Craig. He hit the weight room to gain a whopping 1 pound in muscle. Settle down for the peanut calories. Settle down. Settle down.
I honestly think that if you want to say that 1 pound that he got,
did nothing. Settle down.
I would say that 1 pound is the reason that people
Desmond Bain was sunning him. Desmond Bain was sunning him, bro.
Guess who was MVP of the finals?
That's fine, but I'm just saying you. And it's because of what?
And the Western Conference Finals. I forgot they got an MVP now.
It's what was that shit? What was it called?
And wasn't he the All-Star game MVP? Boy, that boy was a lot of MVPs. Dang, that boy Steph came out and was hooping last year.
But can they? No, look, here's the reality.
I don't think
Daddy, you got to check that out.
That look, making the playoffs.
Question: anyone here watched boxing at all?
Yes.
Are you talking about Ortiz?
Yeah. So, I'm if you excuse me, I gotta go pull Andy Ruiz because I'm gonna get knocked out. I'll be right back, gentlemen.
Okay.
Loosen up.
Put the camera off.
Yep. Turn the camera.
Yeah, there it is. There it goes. There.
All you see is the chair moving. Just. But I don't think the Hawks make the playoffs at all. I don't. I think that's a very tough Eastern Conference. I feel like teams have gotten better. Like now that Brooklyn know that they're gonna keep their core, you have to put Brooklyn in the playoffs. I think they're gonna do a lot better than they did last year. What's up, John?
What's going on, Jonathan? The Hawks can make a play-in, but
I don't even think they make the play-in.
I mean, if they were in the West, I would say, heck no, they don't make.
Because we still now we mentioned those teams, but you still forget you still got Charlotte. You still, that's a tough Eastern Conference.
True, that's true.
Charlotte they were the 10 seed. The Knicks, for better or for worse, they're making a push. They went and got Jalen Brunson. Indiana's probably going the other way.
Did you just mention Jalen Brunson?
Don't make it. Yeah. No.
And you know what's messed up, right? So I did my little tour guide thing yesterday. I had to just put my eyes on Madison Square Garden. And the messed up part is I want to see this place, not for anything the Knicks did. That's messed up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I'm like, oh, Kobe dropped 61 in here. Oh, Mike dropped 55 in here. Oh,
nothing with the Knicks. Nothing with the Knicks.
Maybe on the Knicks, but
But the Knicks were 11, and then you got young teams like Detroit and Orlando who are getting better. Detroit had a hell of an offseason. I mean, even nationwide, a lot of people are talking about their young core, and they still got a long ways to go, but. That's a team. If the 10 seed got 43 wins, right around 500, you got to expect some teams are going to take a step forward. So you mentioned the East is going to be very tough this year.
It's loaded. It's loaded. It's going to remind you of that old Western Conference. Like it's literally going to come down to who loses that wrong game. You know what I mean?
Who cares?
Like it's gonna. I'm telling you, like
it's
that easy. Conference where you have to win the games you're supposed to win.
The East is easy. The East is easy. The East is easy. LeBron went in there 2 years, destroyed the Western Conference. Got dudes running away. Oh, I'm scared. He messed up the game so much. Now Draymond think about leaving Golden State. That's how much the game that Bron done messed up.
Now Draymond want to get paid.
Get paid what? In peanuts? Settle down, donkey. Settle down. Settle down.
Y'all better put some respect on Draymond's name.
I hope Bron enjoys his $97 million because there'll be no rings that come with that.
I mean, but that's not his
He
fault.
deserved that money though.
No, he does. I'm not saying he don't.
And it's not his fault. Like, he's hooping.
Like,
it's not his fault that Russ is a trash can and freaking Anthony Davis can't take a step without breaking something.
Hey, if you listen to Patrick Beverly, they go in the playoffs.
Listen, bro, I'm gonna tell you this right now. The instant Patrick Beverly said that, I'm like, they're not making a play in.
They going to the playoff. Fast say we going to the ship.
Who told Patrick Beverly he's that guy?
I don't know.
Who told him that? Who told him that?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
The city
Whoever
of Chicago,
told him that
we
is
got
a
love
liar.
for him.
It was like, oh yeah,
But it ain't.
I mean, he's a good defensive player, but that's it.
He's not even
that good of a defensive player.
Yeah, well, yeah.
He's not even that good of a defensive player.
He was.
He was at one time.
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, he was for like what, 2 games? Settle down. Settle down. It's the chirping that gets him this love, yo. He goes, yeah, I can guard anybody. And he be saying this stuff in the middle of games. I'll be Googling the score. I'll be like, huh.
You know what? He be talking like he been a perennial all-star for the last 16 years.
Like, do him, bro.
I be looking at Pat like, hey, bro, pipe down, bro.
Nah, bro. But nah, Cleveland, listen, I would say
Cleveland cold now.
Yeah, Cleveland's good.
Cleveland freezing.
I ain't even gonna lie to you. LeBron probably on the phone.
No, he not.
He trying to come home.
Oh, you gonna run?
No, Greg, question. Who's your basketball team again?
I don't have a basketball.
Oh, you don't have a basketball team? Okay.
I don't have a basketball.
That's what I thought. Kansas City sucks. What up?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, we don't have a basketball team. Sorry.
Let's pipe down to the LeBron James Center, all right? All right? Because guess what? LeBron James, you know who was in his entourage? Savannah, a beautiful, hardworking woman. He's got 2 sons. 2 sons who hoop. I think he got a daughter, too. Don't he?
He got a daughter.
Yeah.
He got a daughter.
Kids.
Yeah,
good kids. Who's in your guy entourage? They got Jackson Mahomes. Boy, if you don't get, we chilling over here, bro. Me and Bron chilling over here. Anyways.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, too.
Kansas City doesn't.
I think Bryce might be better than Bronny.
A lot of people are thinking that.
Bryce got some skill. I was watching him play. He hit the behind the head layup. I said, "Oh,
I don't know if y'all heard. I don't know if you heard, but now LeBron James is thinking about postponing his retirement a little longer because he wants to play with both his sons. Because the general feeling now is that Bryce can be a one and done, and perhaps could be the first kid. Like when they reopen the you don't got to go to college, just be 18 thing. When they reopen that, the thought is they're gonna reopen that specifically for Bryce's draft class.
Oh, that'll be hot.
So if he can end up doing that, Bron will probably try to hang around another year or two, you know. Which
well, you know what though, if
Bron will be like Tom Brady, 45 years
old.
Can
do it in basketball is Bron, man. The way that man takes care of his body. I've said it right now. I've already came out with a bold prediction. Don't be surprised if Bron is in that MVP discussion. That's
can I curse, Craig? Can I curse one time?
No, don't curse. No.
I think you're allowed 1, depending on what that is.
Oh, hold on. Let me type it. Let me type it.
So I can't say Bron gonna probably be MVP.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, Craig. Yo, Rob, that's a puss one, bro. You're taking a puss way out, brother. All right, look, you're saying in the conversation. Listen, Rob.
You want to put some respect on his name?
All the way.
Bron gonna be MVP this
year. That's my boy right there. See, that's my guy right there, yo. That's my guy right there.
Bron gonna be MVP, but Steph's still gonna be another Finals MVP.
Greg. Rob, you were doing so good, goddamn. You had to throw in that little side.
I think gonna win the ring. Now.
Greg,
I
how bitter will you be when LeBron James wins MVP? How bitter will you be?
It still don't make him better than Mike. He can win that MVP. That's fine.
I think he going. No, he ain't gonna be better than the GOAT. But
we'll put it this way: usually
he's already better than him. So why are we gonna run backwards? Why are we running backwards?
He's number 2.
Usually MVPs have to make the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So Lakers got to make the playoffs.
Craig.
With the way the Western Conference set up right now, it ain't hard.
They got at least.
I'm saying that. You're right, Rob.
Craig.
Look at the teams. Look at the teams in the West. Outside of Phoenix, Memphis, Golden State, Dallas, Utah's dropping out because they got rid of everybody.
Yeah,
Don't nobody know what Portland gonna do.
Clippers are going to drop. Portland's going to stay at the bottom of the conference.
Yep,
Sacramento, Oklahoma City, and Houston are all trash.
Yep.
So it really depends. Like Lakers will probably sneak into a minimum play-in game. Minimum. Just because how bad the bottom part of the West is right now.
Yeah, it's top heavy.
Look here, when LeBron wins MVP, we gonna be chilling. We gonna be vibing. He gonna go home to Savannah, touching, loving, living. You know what I mean? Piping, because that's what Braun do. You feel me? Braun is just the execution of the excellence of execution, or whatever Brett's old self used to say back in the day. I saw him at AEW. God, oh no, not Clash at the Castle. God damn, he old as shit.
Yeah, he old.
He got old,
man. He old. And the
lady behind him. Put some respect on Bret Hart's name.
I'll disrespect him till Kingdom Come.
Why? What Bret Hart do to you?
He was born, all right?
He was cold. He was the best there is, the best there was.
Matter of fact, Craig, can I go on a mini rant? Do I have your permission?
A mini rant on what?
Life. Do I have your permission real quick?
Yeah, we got time.
All right, cool. I'll tell you why I hate him. God damn it. This is why. Okay. This guy cried about putting Sean over. Was like, he was mean to me that one time on Twitter. Social media wasn't a thing. Oh, well, he was mean to me over there. I'm a hero in Canada. This is him, right? That's him, right? But then when CM Punk does it, he's Hitler. He's the Antichrist. This guy is Saddam Hussein. I've never seen anyone treat a world-class competitor like they do with CM Punk. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That's why he's the champ again.
Oh, my neck. Oh, I broke my neck. Head ass, right? He took his ball and went home. He cried. When? Punk.
He did.
All of a sudden, Punk does one thing. All right, you know what? I'm going to stand on myself. Punk is a bad guy. He's a bad guy. It's ridiculous.
Hey, he's the champ again.
The Rock, right? The Rock. He was like, do you smell the L's you catching, bozo? Because that's why he ran the movie business.
Careful.
Hey, don't you talk about The Rock now. Don't you talk about The Rock.
Oh, for real? Oh, for real?
Talk about The Rock.
I will disrespect Dwayne. I'm not going to call him Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I'm going to call him Dwayne got to write my promos on my wrist Johnson.
It doesn't matter. Those promos were awesome.
John Cena made me hate this man.
He had been out of the game for a while, so I can't blame him for having to just give it a little brush up.
Craig, hold on. No. He's been out of the game. Can you remind the people what he was doing when he was out the game?
He was acting.
He was in Hollywood.
He was acting, yeah.
So you're telling
he
me
was making millions of dollars.
Movies
millions.
As opposed to having to come back and to try to capture the magic. You know what it was? He didn't put the Versace shirt on.
Craig,
if you don't wear the Versace shirt, you can't be The Rock.
That's what he was doing in the movies. Here's my script. All right.
And he made some great movies too, by the way,
2, 1. Family.
Where's
Head ass, man!
Where's the eyebrow? Where's the eyebrow?
All right.
Hey, hold on.
I'm triggered,
Can I take the time? I know you in the middle of a rant. I just want to take the time to acknowledge Roman Reigns, our tribal chief.
The character arc that he's taking right now is the best thing to ever happen to him.
My God.
Finally.
I love it.
Finally.
I love it.
Anyway, Sheamus versus Walter was a banger.
Gunther.
No, Walter.
Walter is his name. I understand that. I understand.
Walter.
I understand.
If you're trying to change topics, I got some breaking news.
Please explain.
Dallas Cowboys agreed to terms with offensive tackle Jason Peters, who's 40 years old, to join their practice squad.
Wow.
Just like Dallas.
How about the Cowboys?
They needed that bad.
They do need it.
Because
even a 40-year-old offensive lineman.
God. Because something's going to happen where they're going to end up calling him up.
Oh, they won in the Super Bowl. That's it.
I'm
undefeated.
Right.
Well, the Cowboys already lost Tyron Smith until at least I think it was December. he tore his hamstring,
Mhm.
and then
And every single time
Tyler
he comes
Smith
back, he's
has been
trash.
struggling at tackle, so they wanted to bring in some insurance.
Oh, now that's it right there. Super Bowl move.
Yeah, that's a Super Bowl move. 100%. Dak is
Only
Dak is better than
Cowboy
Patrick
fans'
Mahomes.
minds.
That's
You
it.
say Dak is better than Patrick Mahomes? Dak is
He's
broken.
better than Patrick Mahomes. Zeke runs the ball better than Patrick Mahomes throws it. Yeah.
Only Cowboys fans think that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a love seeing Skip Bayless face every Monday this football season.
No, Greg. Let me tell you something about Skip. I knew that it was rock bottom, no pun intended, when you bringing up a Madden simulation.
I love
said,
it.
wow. Now we basing our season off what Madden says. All right.
I don't know if y'all saw Shannon's face when he said that. Yo, Shannon looked like he wanted just to shut him up. It just exploded.
You ever seen a dog look at you when you just do something? Like the dog. I'm watching Undisputed, and I said, see, it's time for another vacation because this is when you know you have nothing to talk about.
Yeah,
it's like you're really basing the season off a video game, and
that's
he is riding with it. Like,
he gonna ride with it.
And this is how dumb Madden is. This is why you don't respect Madden, because Michael McCorkle Jones is a 78. That's blasphemy. That's blasphemy. Michael McCorkle. Don't shoot. Oh, dude. All right. Yo, crack you this close again. I'm not gonna lie. You had me right there for a split second. For a split second,
even some of them receivers
but that Madden simulation is the closest the Cowboys will get to a Super Bowl. So hey,
nah. Dallas is winning the division easily.
NFC East champions, baby.
Easily. Name me another team that can stop them.
Eagles, but
Eagles.
The
Eagles winning that division.
See, everyone says Eagles, but you know what the Eagles always do? They fly away from the challenge. They fly away from victory.
Zach say?
They fly away. Like, there's some crows out there, bro.
You
feel me?
And on that note, good morning, Damien.
Good morning, Damien.
Matt Jones should have been a 60. Damien counts to 60. I'm tired of the Mac Jones slander. Mac and cheese.
Good morning, Damien.
By the way, from now on, I'm gonna call him Kraft macaroni and cheese because Robert Kraft.
Oh, where was that? Frankie made that comment too in here, I think. There we go. Happy birthday, future best QB in the NFL, Mac and Cheese Jones.
Yo, guess what? In 4 years' time, it's gonna be Tom who? What, Brady? No, Mac Jones.
No, don't you ever.
Just like they were with Jimmy Garoppolo, right?
Sure.
Wow,
that was a rough 2-game stretch. that we do not go back and remember, sir. Listen. Why gotta bring up old stuff, man? All right, that was years ago, man. He went a whole new team, man.
All right, I guess one last topic to kind of round out the show. I don't know, baseball news more so. Kind of what's been going on in the playoff race lately. The Yankees have been struggling mightily is the easiest way to put it. But now their recent acquiree, Andrew Benintendi, has a broken bone in his hand.
Love to see it.
And needs surgery.
Love to see it.
Love to see it.
And now the Yankees, there is a scenario in which the Yankees will be overtaken by not only the Rays, but the Orioles in the AL East.
Oh, Lord.
How bad is it for the Yankees right now?
Well, I mean, also the Red Sox had also, we could also swing by. So, you love to see it.
AL East. I mean, Boston's only 13 and a half back in the division, but they're in conversation still. They still have an outside chance of
the wild card. So don't because once you bring up division, that's like why you gotta disrespect me. At this point, Craig, you're spitting on me, right? You didn't mean that, right? Now wild card, now that's the conversation I'm here for, right? But
that's basically what I was talking about with the division because it's such a tightly contested race. You could see 3 teams from the AL East make the playoffs.
Yes, great. That's a possibility. I will say this. I was talking with Frankie about this. The Yankees built up a good enough lead where right now 500 baseball could get them the division.
Mhm.
Now the problem is after that they're getting smacked up a storm. They're not winning. And I've been saying this all year. I'm putting no faith in New York. You're just a hater. You're just a hater. No. This happens every year, especially after Aaron Boone more specifically when Derek Jeter left and they needed to hand the reins to the newer generation, to the young Carlos Stanton's of the world and the Aaron Judges of the world. And at the time, it was supposed to be Gary Sanchez, but boy, did they turn their backs on that kid so fast. Like when they kind of started trying to build their own nucleus, baseball got very hard for them in terms of consistency. This has been the thing for the Aaron Boone era. We're gonna light them up in the first half, All-Star game, and then all of a sudden, let's be the Cleveland Browns. Let's see how low we can get. Chris!
Hey,
what's up, bro?
what's up,
Welcome.
Can we give Chris a solo screen for like 2 seconds real quick?
You give solo screen?
Just no, for Chris. For
Nope,
Chris.
That's me. That's me. That's all me.
Craig.
No. How do I do this? There we go.
There we
Solo
go.
layout.
All
There you
right.
go, Chris.
Look at
There
the
he is.
stallion. Look at the stallion. Say bro one time, Chris.
Bro.
Oh, that's my right. Stallion. But for the Yankees, look, they need to win 500 ball to win the division. And I've looked at their schedule, and I do think it's possible. I legitimately do think it's possible. Now, whether or not they can do it, that's where it's going to get kind of dicey. And there's a legitimate conversation going on that not only they're out the divisional leader, they're out of the entire playoffs. Like, that's now becoming a legitimate conversation. And that's not just me hating. That's not me hating now. It's reality because, and me and Frankie have spoken about this, their main problem is their nickname, the Bronx Bombers. Because every single time they get a new acquisition, I'm going 450 dead center every at bat.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't work. It doesn't work because guess what happens? Aaron Judge, for instance, Aaron Judge is going on this phenomenal pace. He's going on, all these home runs, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, Aaron Judge can carry them to wins." Do you want to know why Aaron Judge can't carry them to wins? Do you want to know why? Because instead of losing 2-0, they're losing 2-1 because it's only solo homers. It's only solo shots. You got Andrew Benintendi coming in talking about, I'm going to start hitting home runs. And when you played for the Boston Red Sox in Fenway, you had the short porch. You couldn't even hit that. You couldn't even hit the short porch.
He couldn't hit no home runs. He was with the Royals, too, by the way.
It's okay for you not to be able to hit home runs because that's not who he is. He's a phenomenal contact hitter.
Yes.
And that's good. You need guys like that to be able to win games. You need those contact hitters.
Yeah.
Anthony Rizzo is another one. He was the dude who could do home runs, but I'm chilling. I'm good with contact. It was a good contact lefty they needed. Y'all thought Javier Baez was having a bad year.
Oh, I don't even want to get started on him.
I mean, for consistency's sake, think about it. Javier Baez, we're killing him, slandering him, and we're destroying his name. Anthony Rizzo is having a similar year. He's having a similar year, and we're letting it skate. Josh Donaldson. Excuse my French, he's a fucking abortion. But these are the next games that the Yankees
Go baseball.
have. You said what, Rob?
Go baseball.
Yeah.
So while you got that schedule up, the Yankees only have two guys who have an on-base percentage higher than 40%. Matt Carpenter who's only played in 47 games this year, and Aaron Judge.
That's it. That's horrible. And that's
everybody
horrible.
else is 350 or lower.
And again, that just goes to show they're only one.
So yeah, Judge is getting the home run race, but
yeah, but outside
no
of that, right? And that's kind of like I can never win. But that's really like the problem, because look, this is the rest of their year. So they have the next 7 games are home. They're at Yankee Stadium. So 4 of them are against Minnesota, and then 3 against Tampa. Now that Minnesota series, I'm gonna put it to you this way. And Chris, I don't know if you were there when I said this. That Minnesota series is gonna be very critical. If they get swept, Aaron Boone needs to get fired right then and there. There's no and ifs or buts about it. He needs to get fired right then and there. I don't care how much you love him. I don't care who he's married to. I don't care whose DVDs he saved from a burning building back in the olden days. I don't care who he babysits. I don't care whose car rental place he goes to. I don't care if he knows a good mechanic. I don't care if he owns a nice bistro that you guys like going to. I don't care if he's like the Uber driver for the team. I don't care if he talks nice. I don't care if he knows where he gets good suits. I don't care about any of that. If they get swept against the Twins, they need to just give it up. And they need to move on from Aaron Judge. They've tried everything they could. Everything. They swapped bench managers. They swapped players. They swapped everything. There's only 2 positions left that needs to be swapped. Only 2. That's the GM and the manager. And I'll be honest, I don't think Brian Cashman needs to go anywhere. Because Brian Cashman has brought in the players. People forget, before Aroldis Chapman became virtually a bum in New York, he was arguably one of the best closers in baseball.
Yep, used to be on the Reds.
Yes, like the Cincinnati Reds, and then when he went over to Chicago for a cup of coffee, like he was one of the best closers in baseball.
He really hasn't been the same since Madden used him up so much in Chicago.
No,
yeah, that's true.
Right, so that he goes, and then Anthony Rizzo, that was another great guy, a perennial all-star. Josh Johnson was still playing. Giancarlo Stanton, when he got him, people were arguing that he was the best player in baseball. So he's brought in the guys in. It's just when they get there, all of a sudden, they don't know how to play baseball. I am not blaming the GM for doing that, because that's not the GM's job. The GM's job is to bring talent in. He's brought the talent in. Aaron Boone can't, for some reason, just can't get them to work.
Yeah.
So they got 4 against Minnesota. They need to go 3-1. They need to go 3-1. 2-2, sure, but they need to go 3-1, because there are some wins they need that they need to start padding up now, because there's going to be some games here that there's some series they're going to get swept. So Minnesota, then Tampa. Then they got a 5-game road trip. 2 at Boston, 3 at Milwaukee. Milwaukee's bums. They're the Utah Jazz before they blew everything up. Yankees better sweep them. They're probably split with Boston because for some reason they could never, second half of the year, Then 6 games on the at home. 2 hosting Pittsburgh, which they're gonna win both. Then 4 against Boston. Again, you need to make that Boston series 500. Okay. We're then gonna move on to a 3-game road trip at Toronto. They're probably going to lose that series. This is one of the series that there's a potential they could get swept. You then go on next, a 3-game homestand against Baltimore. Baltimore's probably sweeping them. If anything, they'll probably win a game. Then they end it with 4 games at Texas. They need to sweep them. That's what the New York Yankees have put themselves in a corner to. They put themselves in a corner.
Yeah, we put that on the screen. I was interested to look at how close this race is in the AL East. since August 1st, the Yankees are 4-9. And you can see right now, the Yankees have 15 games remaining against AL East opponents and only 5 of them on the road. But you mentioned Toronto. The last time they played Toronto in a 4-game set, they lost 3 of them. And they have a lot of games remaining against playoff contending teams. Minnesota's trying to win the AL Central. They're in a neck and neck race with the White Sox
Guardians.
or the Guardians.
No. Well, I mean, technically it's a 3-person race.
Them, yeah.
They're tied with the Guardians, and I think the White Sox, I think, are like a game or 2 behind.
Yeah,
let's go
games.
Sox, baby.
And you had a lot of people get excited about the Yankees sweeping the Rays over the weekend. But if you really watch that, the Yankees scored 4 runs that whole series.
Right.
And Aaron Judge is the only one that was really hitting the ball. He was hitting almost 300. The rest of the team was hitting like 140 or something.
It's horrible.
So if they don't get their offense going besides Judge, they're even if they make the playoffs, they're not going to do anything.
Nope.
I mean, they're going to make the playoffs probably even if they by wild card. But if they don't start hitting the ball besides Judge, they're not going to make no noise. And like you said, their bullpen's struggling as well.
Yeah, they're not.
I know,
bro,
how y'all feel about the Mets?
Oh, the Mets are collapsing, aren't they?
What? I wouldn't necessarily say collapsing.
They were up by 8 games, weren't they? At one point.
I think they're. This is just me. I think at this point we're past the collapse because now they're starting to get it back together.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Now, granted, they sold. Let's keep it a stack. They did. But the difference between them and the Yankees is the Yankees are selling and selling and selling and selling and selling and selling. The Mets are getting it together.
Mm-hmm.
They're not only have they gotten it together, but yeah, it's close. But the Mets, I think the Mets are still winning the division.
Yeah.
I can't say the same for New York.
Yeah.
For the Yankees. I keep forgetting they're both New York.
Well, we already knew when the season started if the Yankees didn't make the World Series that Aaron Boone was going to be gone anyway. So if they don't, now it's gotten bad to the point where if they don't even make the playoffs entirely, oh yeah, he out of there. He's out of there for sure.
I don't know. It's very hard to even say that because they should have been out last year. He should have been gone last year.
Agreed.
Dare I say, heck, even 2 years ago, and what they do, they brought him back every time, and they gave him a 3-year deal. If I'm mistaken.
Yeah, but the problem is, I don't think they know who they can bring in that's going to do
anybody. Anybody.
You can't just take anybody to be
you can.
To be the skipper for the Yankees.
Yes, you can.
Yes, you can, but physically you can. Yeah, but from the status that the Yankees hold, you cannot just bring in anybody. You got to bring in a high-profile name. It's like the Lakers and the Knicks. They're not. Their fan base is to the point where, or it's been to the point where you can't just go and get. Let's take a chance on this up-and-coming skipper, and the guy's going to get roasted. Like it's winning changes everything for sure. But the way that the teams and the brands like the Yankees have put themselves in because of their traditional success, you can't just put anybody in there. You have to go get a high profile name to appease the fan base.
But here's the thing though, like, and this is why I say you can basically put anybody there. And I'm gonna tell you why, because Aaron Boone wasn't high profile. He really wasn't high profile. The only reason people were like, oh yeah, we like Aaron Boone was because he played for them years ago.
Yeah, he was the only reason he was kind of high profile was because of his last name, because everybody knows the Boone family in baseball.
That's it. But Aaron Boone himself is not like the best thing Aaron Boone did was get hurt so they can go get Alex Rodriguez. That was the best thing he did for that franchise. That is the only thing of use he did for that franchise. And it was a freak accident.
Hey, Brian, that's messed up.
And he had the game-winning home run in Game 7 against Boston.
Oh,
Yeah.
we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
Oh, we don't. That's what happened. Okay.
That happened, Greg.
It doesn't fit his narrative right now.
What it bring back
Yeah,
some
here's my
horrible
bias
memories,
narrative,
man.
Greg. But like, he hasn't really had that many kind of like, spots in New York history. In 4 years' time, he's probably going to be forgotten that he even played for them. It really was just the older heads that was like, oh, yeah, he played for them. Back when I was at Nam, I used to listen to the Yankees games on the radio when he was with Babe Ruth. Too far, old guy. That's way too far back. But like, it's this thing where like, you at this point you need somebody, and at this point you need anybody. And I understand what you're saying about like the prolificness. I get it, but that only works when you're good. Darvin Ham is not prolific. He's not.
But he's a LeBron James guy. He was handpicked by LeBron James.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And again,
that's a different story.
But that further goes to my point. A, watch the disrespect, and two, like, not because I see Chris.
I ain't gonna lie though, when they picked him as a coach, I was like, "Who?"
Let me say this real quick. I might not have been here, but I was listening to the whole show.
But listen, so you can hear it, Greg, with these little backhand little. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I was straining on the side of the road with a flat tire, listening to you guys. That's why I was later getting on. But bro. But just to tell you guys, the show's been great. So I enjoyed listening to it while I was waiting.
Shout out to Craig, because real talk, bro. Honestly, bro, it's been a pleasure and an honor ever since you came on, bro.
He's a great host.
Phenomenal.
Hey, Craig.
Honestly, like no cap. The best host this show's had. Not even close.
No cap.
Not even close. You are my LeBron. You are all the way up there, and sure, I'll be MJ, kind of just down here chilling, right? But you're all the way up there, bro. You're all the way up there, brother. You're all the way up.
Pride, watch your mouth.
No, I shall not. But yeah, like Aaron Boone hasn't really done much, and like again, like you don't have to be prolific, right? At some point, when you get desperate enough, you just gotta be like, we need somebody. Like, we need someone new. And it's, again, Joe Girardi was prolific. They moved on from him because the dude just couldn't do it anymore.
So who would you nominate to be the new skipper for the Yankees if you had to?
Honestly, I would consider Joe Madden.
Yep,
that's a high-profile name.
Yep.
But the thing is with Joe Madden, you now get the best of both worlds, right? So like
the name that you want, but he can actually manage.
But he can actually go and slap Aaron Judge. Well, not Aaron Judge, because Aaron Judge doesn't deserve to get slapped. So let me. He's
been balling. He's been
doing his thing. So not him, but Giancarlo Stanton. You can't slap him because then he'll get injured. He's worse than Anthony Davis. Anthony Rizzo. Let's slap Anthony Rizzo because someone got to get slapped.
I got a name to throw out there, and it's to the detriment of ourselves here. I would not be surprised because of what's going on in Detroit. If I'm the Yankees, I'm going after AJ Hinch.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Will the players get over the whole cheating thing?
100%, because he's going to win.
Yeah.
Winning changes a lot. Yeah. And so
they're not gonna
you ain't trying to win if you ain't cheating.
You're not cheating. You're not trying. You're right.
That's an outside one, and he's
still
got a couple years on his. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hinch has still got a couple years on his contract to Detroit. Still, he says he's not going anywhere, but you always got to kind of think about the front office is not in a position to go out and win like it was when he was in Houston. They went out and went to go get guys to win. AJ Hinch, I think, would be a really good fit there. And Damian, I got to throw you under the bus here. Ozzie Guillen is a horrible manager. He should never be allowed to be in the game of baseball again. There's no way he goes to the Yankees.
No. And listen, Ozzie, he's a hilarious dude, right? He seems like
he's a PR nightmare waiting to happen.
Yeah.
100%. Like he's the type of dude that I have no problem going on.
This the guy that used to manage the White Sox, right?
Yes. Like he's the type of dude that
I see, Rob. You know a little bit about baseball.
The team imploded on him because of what he would say. He would openly throw his players under the bus in post-game press conferences and basically forced him out.
And the thing is like the thing with Ozzy is, and here's the sad part. He's a horrible manager. He is. But his detriment is actually what the Yankees need. See, Aaron Boone is too nice. He goes, yeah, we suck. Nah, at some point, you need to sit there and go, and with a piece of paper, this is what I would do, verbatim. Anthony Rizzo. I don't know what to do. He was good a few years ago. Got him. I don't know what you want from me. Matt Carpenter. A Carpenter puts in more work than him. Yeah, he's good, but we can't rely on him because the guy would just, break down. Giancarlo Stanton. Dude's a beat up dirt red 95 pickup. I can't do anything with him. Aaron Judge. You're good, kid. You're good. Andrew Benintendi. I wish we never got him. Go back to Kansas City. I'll buy you a ticket.
Right, you know what this reminds me of, Pride? It's like a screw you, a screw you, a screw you. Judge, you're cool.
You're good. 100%. Like
screw you all. I'm out of here.
Everybody.
Because here's the thing: if I'm Aaron Boone, I'm already out anyway. So right. I would straight up be like, let's get it. Like I am burning this place to the ground. I am frying everything. Aroldis Chapman needs to go make chapsticks because the guy can't play baseball. Like I'm violating everybody's will to live.
So do you think that's Boone's problem? Is that
he's
not aggressive enough as a manager?
And he's not. And honestly, I'll be honest. That's why me personally, I believe that's why there's other teams out there that like. This is why a lot of guys kind of struggle. Why do you think the Mets are in a better position? Buck Showalter will check you.
Yeah.
How many times did Buck Showalter call Chris what's his name? Chris Davis. How many times did he call Chris Davis trash? And with a straight face was like, okay, yeah, we had a good game all around. Manny Machado did his thing. We had great pitching. Chris Davis is dog shit. But, other than that, we had a pretty good... Like, that's what he would do. But the thing is like, he only did it when necessary, when pushed to that point. That's why Buck Showalter was so regarded. And that's why the Yankees should have gotten Buck Showalter. Because Buck Showalter could have gotten them and been like, look, I love y'all, right? But I'm about to say some hateful words. Aaron, go wait outside. Your pretty ears don't have to hear this. You're okay. You're the only person who I get
how to play baseball.
I get there's no I in team, but at this point, I don't care because at this point, Aaron Judge is the goddamn team. Like he is the team.
Pretty much, yeah.
So like let's just have him outside.
Especially the second since the All-Star break.
Yes, and it's insane, bro. It really is, man. And I just think the next manager for the Yankees doesn't necessarily have to be a guy who's like a super duper high IQ guy.
They could always get La Russa from the White Sox.
I would.
He falls asleep during games.
Wow.
Bro, he's lit. He's lit. Send him over to New York. Let him destroy that franchise. Yeah, go ahead. Go on over. But like, they just need someone who will get in your face and check you if needed. You know who would fit perfectly with them? Perfectly, Dusty.
That's what I was going to say.
Dusty Baker would fit perfectly with this team because he's compassionate, will get on you when needed, and knows baseball. Shoot.
And not only that, he also knows how to handle big stars because he's managed big stars before with Bonds and everybody. So being in New York, the spotlight's not going to be too big for him.
I'm going to tell you this right now. Any manager that can get Jeff Kent and Barry Bonds to sing Kumbaya, he can handle it. he could handle the apocalypse itself. Okay, if he could handle that, my guy can handle anything. My guy can handle death himself. But honestly, man, I don't know where you get this stuff. Bless your heart.
All right, last topic. It's kind of staying in baseball here. We've been talking about the playoff races, and one team has two huge milestones right on their doorstep, and that's St. Louis Cardinals. St. Louis Cardinals, you got Pujols is at 695 home runs. He's knocking on the door to 700. And you got Paul Goldschmidt, who is also he's fairly close to becoming the first Triple Crown winner in the National League in 85 years. Now, the last time it's been done was Miguel Cabrera in 2012 with the Tigers in the AL. But not a person has done it in 85 years in the NL history. In 85 years. The Cardinals, both of those things, do you think they happen with, 30 games left?
Pujols gets those 5 home runs.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I got to be consistent. Chris, we spoke about this before, so I got to be consistent. I think he gets at 699.
Oh.
I think he hits at 699, and then everyone wants it and wants it and wants it, and then
he's gonna get 5. He's gonna get 2 in one game.
Listen, don't get it twisted. I want to see it, but remember, he's not batting as consistently as he was earlier in the year. Now he's just pitch hitting, so there's games where he's not even playing.
And and some of these teams are going to walk him when he comes up. I mean, they thought about doing that yesterday. They didn't, and then he hit that big home run. So I don't know if he'll get like Price had enough at bats. Originally, I said he was going to finish at 702. So I'm going to stick with that prediction. But
man, if they walk him, that's some hating stuff, man.
That's part of baseball.
Do you want to be the team that pitches 700 to him?
I would.
I didn't think so.
No, you know what I would do? I'm petty.
You gonna hit him with the ball?
No. That's reckless, but I would. But what I would do, I'm gonna look at their schedule. Oh, you play Seattle next? Boop, boop, boop. Yo, Castillo, do me a favor. I want you to just walk them every time you get them. That's it. All right, goodbye. Click. And that's it. Oh wait, hold on. You're playing. You're playing the Mets. Hey, yo, DeGrom, can you do me a favor? Can you put Max Scherzer here? Hey, yo, y'all mind walking Pujols? Let's just be dickheads. Let's just do that. That's what I would do. Walking his man every time. Imagine
if there's bases open, he comes up. They bring him in a pinch hit. A lot of teams will walk him if the game's on the line.
And I'm talking about if I'm a pitcher. I'm a pitcher, because the thing is, I don't want to be the dude that let him get a 700. Because how many guys are in 700?
If he has 699 and I'm pitching, I agree with you. He has 699.
I know Barry Bonds is one.
Barry Bonds.
Hank Aaron.
Hank Aaron. I think that's it. Those 3.
I could have sworn there's one more.
There might be.
Ruth, yeah.
Let me check.
Who are we forgetting?
Is it Pete Rose?
No.
He's the hit leader.
He's the hit king.
I think it's only 3.
Yeah, no. It's only 3.
Yeah.
So Hank Aaron,
Babe Ruth, and Barry Bonds.
Oh, you know how I was thinking about?
The big Bambino.
I was thinking about A-Rod, because A-Rod is only like,
he's at 690 something.
Yeah, he's only a few short. That's why
693.
No,
hey, Chris, I agree with you. I even know nicknames, Chris. The big Bambino.
I agree with you, because if he's at 699 and I'm the pitcher, I just roll the ball up there like a fucking bowling ball.
Just intentional.
Actually, you know what?
Intentional.
You know what I would do? I'm gonna hit him. I'll hit him.
I don't want to hurt him.
You say you want to fight? You want to fight a dude that's at 699 home runs? Your jaw might be number 700.
It'll be unofficial. So it won't count. I don't even care. So hit me. It don't matter. But nah, I just think, like, if he was batting more consistently, I think 700. Forget 700. I think he could potentially pass. Let me not go too far, but I do think that, like, if he was batting more consistently, 700 would be a definite.
That's the only thing where I don't know if he'll get it is because I don't know if he'll get enough at bats.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. If he gets, because I think he's one off from tying A-Rod, I think. And I think that's 696. If he gets if he's at 698 with at least 10 games to go, they probably start him. Like at DH or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can't take Paul Goldschmidt.
You can see that. Yeah.
You can't take Paul Goldschmidt out.
Yeah, you can.
No.
I mean, maybe like one or two games for like
DH?
rest or whatever. But
You said
So last thing
DH?
here for Paul
real
Goldschmidt.
quick,
He's
designated
leading.
hit.
yeah. So basically, you just bat and you don't play the field.
Yeah.
designated here. You're just up at the plate.
Hey, I'm trying to learn about this baseball thing.
You good, bro.
We'll teach you, Rob. We'll teach you.
That's why we here.
That's why we're here for you. Paul Goldschmidt leading the NL in batting average by looks like 9 points. He's only 2 behind Kyle Schwarber in home runs at 34, and then he's got a 1 RBI lead on Pete Alonso for the Mets. He's got 107. Does Goldschmidt do the Triple Crown?
No.
Boy, that is hard.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna say no too on that.
Yeah. I don't think he gets it, but I still think he wins MVP. I think the NL MVP is his to lose.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any competition there for NL MVP.
Yeah.
Who's the front runner to win it all?
You talking about MVP or World Series?
To win the World Series.
The Dodgers right now, I think. Betting wise, that is.
Yeah. Dodgers, if their pitching can be consistently good, they're gonna win the World Series.
Who cares?
Bums.
They're bums. They lost to the Mets, bro. They lost their series against the Mets.
Yeah, they did.
But the Mets not bums, right?
No.
No.
Yeah. They bums. Let's get it.
There you go. You heard it from Pride.
100%.
I think Pride thinks anybody who's not the Red Sox is a bum.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right, we'll leave that. We'll leave it at that. There's gonna be plenty of baseball over the next couple weeks, so we're gonna be watching that. We're gonna be talking about those storylines as they develop right here on ASAP in the morning, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. So don't forget to go ahead and like, subscribe, share. Whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter. You can find us on Facebook at All Sports All Plays, Twitter at ASAP Network 1. On YouTube, search ASAP Sports Network, and on Twitch at ASAP Network. Later on today, we got the one and only Chris Gonzalez is going to be on Afternoon Blitz at 1 o'clock Eastern, and Easy Money at 3 o'clock Eastern as well. Guys, later this week, I know, Greg, you got Red Kingdom every Saturday.
Yes, Saturday.
So you want to tell them when they can find you on Red Kingdom?
Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 o'clock Central. On Saturdays, we talk all Chiefs. It is a Chiefs safe zone. Me and my co-host RJ this week, we previewed the Cardinals game this past Saturday. Because of the short week, we got the Chargers that week too. That's a Thursday, so we'll be previewing the Chargers game this week.
And if you want to hear a show about a better football team than the Chiefs, we have a Colts show Monday and Friday.
I love this guy.
Right, that's right.
I would have a Bears show, but nobody want to talk about the Chicago.
I use one.
That's a garbage team, garbage franchise. I'm a garbage quarterback.
Horseshoe Talk every
Fields
Monday.
is
Chris,
cool.
what time is that?
It's Monday and Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern.
6 p.m. Eastern here on ASAP Network. And we're here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. And for everybody here, Pride, Greg, Chris, Rob, and myself, thanks everyone. Have a great Labor Day holiday. And we will see you all tomorrow morning. Pride and Company will be hosting Tuesday and Wednesday. I'll see y'all on Thursday. Have a great holiday weekend, everyone. We'll see you later on.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're out in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.